Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem for some of you releases soon, or heck, maybe it's already out. For the NZ crowd though, we have to wait until September and I'm trying not to think too much about it. In the meantime though, let's review some of those LEGO Ninja Turtles sets. One of my favourite LEGO themes that I think is incredibly underrated. Over the next few weeks, be sure to stick around for my coverage over a plethora of sets from both the cartoon and the movie. This is the last LEGO Ninja Turtles set review that we'll be taking a look at for the time being. This is the Turtle Lair attack from the 2014 movie line. This set released and retired all in 2014, available for around 5 months apparently only, and then it was gone. It retailed for 190 NZD, that is exactly how much I paid for it around a year ago I think. I remember the seller previously listed it at $250 and I kept asking them if they'd go down, and I think every second week they dropped the price by $10. So it took a lot of patience just waiting it out, hoping no one else would grab it before me. Paying retail is okay 8 years after retirement, but since then, no one has actually listed this secondhand in my regions. I've only seen it once during the 3 years I spent trying to find LEGO Ninja Turtles sets, and the one time I saw it, I bought it. So I consider that a win in my book. This is a big one. The set overview is the movie's iteration of the Turtles' Lair. The colours have been stripped away, the play features are all new, it's bigger, it's bolder, the figures are just to die for, and ultimately I think it is significantly better. We start the review by looking at the section on the far right, and we'll go through in the exact order that you build the set in. The sections are all connected loosely by use of these parts that just hook into one another up top. It's nice, it's not a very solid connection though, so the set is still fragile to be moved around, but because you can separate it, it means that you can actually move it piece by piece. It also allows for some extra customization. So right off the bat, I mentioned in my cartoon Lair review that the Lair seems to be based on LEGO's own creation. It was a little hard to judge the full accuracy of that LEGO set. This one though features a very similar design of a tall wall, but it also has the one key section that I personally wanted out of a Turtle Lair, and I can actually recall most of these features being used in the movie. More on each of those when we get to them. This is the cage with dropping door gimmick. It looks like a gated entrance, but I think it is actually just a cage. And it actually appears in the movie when Splinter closes the gate on the turtles to prevent them from coming into contact with he and Shredder as they fight. Really cool to see something that is directly recognizable from the movie here, and it won't be the last time either. I like the build structure of these sections quite a lot actually. They're just thick enough that I feel they're worth the value. There's some really nice graffiti stickers all over the set that gives it an extra modern edge over the cartoon one. In this little section here we have a small display for extra weapons. There's also an extended section down here which we use in a sec. Up top feels rather bare bones and something to be hidden behind a curtain rather. I guess we're not supposed to be paying attention to this section, but it is pretty poor compared to the rest of the build. That extended section that I mentioned at the back is used to push open the secret compartment built into the steps. There's a weapon in here as well, but this can be used for fighting back against the Foot Clan. You've noticed this large red handle up top, and that's actually used for holding the gate up and dropping it down on people. The gate can slide out of its slots entirely, and it's held in place by the red handle here. It just simply sits against the studded sections of the door, and it actually works pretty well. Takes a little adjusting, and some heavy movements will cause it to collapse, but minor movements test here, it actually stands really well. The next section here is bigger than the previous, and it features some more cool gimmicks from the movie. This is the training platform with a sticker of a foot soldier. The set says that you can actually flip it down and turn it into a skateboard ramp. I didn't know that before filming this though, so no skating from me, sorry. It's located on this rounded area that is placed in the center of the build. This is the only thing that was missing from the cartoon one for me. Dead serious, all it takes to please me for a Ninja Turtles Lair set is a center hangout section, and that is what this is. It leads to the fan room, which also is actually directly taken from the movie. Raph pushes the fan into soldiers, and then that room is destroyed in the process. You can flick this switch, and now the fan room has also been destroyed in the set, or the fan can at least blow up, and it gives a similar feeling to that sequence in the movie. The fan here can also be moved around, which matches the movie as well. Nice inclusion, the fan has some boxes located nearby for some extra cause and effect feature damage, and it has some stickers around here as well. The ladder can be moved around and it leads to the top section, which is this lockable sewer entrance. Another great addition here, because this is the entranceway also featured in the movie. Hey, look at that, another thing from the movie. The sewer entrance in the movie is even located up high, and the turtles have to jump down and they land in the center hangout spot, just like how the set is built. Can you tell that I'm satisfied with this yet? As I mentioned, the door can be locked too when it's been shut, works really well, and this is something that I don't see too often in LEGO sets. Inside that room is a barrel trap, which is like a flick firing function. You can drop barrels onto intruders. I've got those barrels stacked up by the door here. Up top is a small little section that I think depicts Manhattan. The manhole here is a teeny tiny stickered piece that definitely couldn't fit an entire turtle. And now we move on to the largest section of the build here. The first floor is the surveillance room. It's cool and it reminds me a lot of the Batcave builds. I do like building little TVs together. There's some more graffiti and some pizzas lying around in this section as well. The middle section here is another entranceway. It looks to resemble a prison and it does work as a feature a little later on. The door can slide out, but there's not much going on around or inside it. Up top is the next section of Manhattan, the official entrance into the Lair. The smallest manhole in the world is connected to an entire trapdoor of concrete, and flicking the switch opens that manhole. I do like the fact that there are these walls here, which does help corner off the display and it makes it a bit more believable to be a Manhattan surface for me personally. Skateboard accessory here as well. I assume it's Leonardo's based on the color alone. But now it's time to talk about the play feature that from memory does not occur in the movie ever, but it is still pretty cool. There's a giant slide that's built around the outside starting from Manhattan and it goes all the way down to the ground floor. It's cool and it is very reminiscent of other Ninja Turtle toys and their lairs and features. That's not all though. There are some extra steps included that can allow you to entrap anyone who's using the slide that's not supposed to be. We can raise the slide to stop the foot from continuing on, and then we can drop down the secret wall here to block the exit. So this is me playing around with that idea for a little. Then they're locked in the turtles' prison. I like the assumption that the turtles have built a prison in their home just for this reason alone. This is Leonardo. This is the second time that he was released in the movie sets, the first being a different variant in the Big Rig Snow Getaway, and it's actually the second time that Leonardo was included in a Turtle Lair set, both in cartoon and movie. I do really love the minifigures based on the scary movie designs. The special new mold for the heads and shells really help it all come together. His stick armor is the most prominent print here, and I love the blue and olive green mix for his colors. Open teeth expression looks cool as well. This Leonardo is revolutionary as a figure because he has a really cool scabbard part that is different from that Prince of Persia one. It is the same, but it's had the neck brace removed and it connects straight onto a stud on the shell instead. Leonardo is the only Ninja Turtle minifigure that has a holster for his weapons. Lego minifigures and their weapon holsters, unlike other toy lines, is still a rarity these days, so anytime something like this is included gets nothing but praise from me. His shell also features some character specific tattoos different from the other brothers. Compared to his past self here, the colours are different, the sash goes the other way, but the attitude seems to be the same. And this is Donatello, who was also exclusive to the set. If you wanted the Turtles complete, then you needed to get this, and he was the hardest figure for me personally to get my hands on. Both in the cartoon and movie sets, Donatello proved to be the toughest one to find. He features the same color scheme as Mikey and Leo, which is a shame for me personally. He's got some shoulder straps printed on his torso, and his biggest difference comes with these really cool spy goggles and a backpack. The backpack is the exact same style as the Star Wars battle droids, but it adds a bit more of a tech guy character to him. His shell is also exclusive to him, it's Leonardo's but without the tattoo printing. The spy goggles here were actually first used here in this set, which I did not know. The Spy Seamer figure, who I think popularized them, released later on, so these were for a time made just for Donnie. His face print shows that he has some glasses printed on underneath the goggles as well. This is him compared to his past self, same comments that I made on Leo. These are the 4 movie turtles all together. You can see that the obvious color change only applies to one of the figures. They look really great all together though. Here they all are compared to their cartoon styles. Leonardo and Raphael in the cartoons have a slight color change to Donnie and Mikey. This is the Shredder figure, who was featured in the cartoon sets as well. He was exclusive to this set, and for my money he is significantly better here than the one that I reviewed in the Shredder bike set. I love the silver, black and blue that's been used for his colors, and the armor piece that's used for him as well. His armor and helmet are both exclusive to this set. The helmet is the same design as the previous Shredder figures, but this one has some printing around the mouthguard there, which is infinitely better than the plain ones. Where this figure goes wrong for me is the face underneath. It uses that Lex Luthor head, which is insane to me. The only conclusion that I have was that this was supposed to be William Fichtner, and then after the reshoots occurred, they changed the role to this guy, who appears to at least be a bit more scarred than the Lex Luthor head. It's honestly really messy in the movie as well. He has like 2 scenes where his face is shown, and then Shredder just begins to teleport around the movie. Anyway, lame that it's this face. I guess I can kind of see the Fichtner resemblance on the Luthor head. He would actually make a pretty good Lex Luthor if James Gunn is ready for that conversation. Regardless though, he's awesome. The figure is the best Shredder that's been made. Here he is compared to the cartoon one that I have. The head in the cartoon one is a better one though, so maybe just simply swapping them around makes the perfect Shredder. This is Splinter, also exclusive to this set. He reuses that head mold from the cartoon one, but it's painted differently. He is shorter than the previous figure as well, which makes sense here. He is a lot smaller than the turtles in this movie, but I really don't like this translation very well. The head is blatantly wrong in my eyes. It's missing a lot of key details like his longer facial hair, his shorter ears, and his man bun. This head doesn't really seem to match any Splinter actually. His little legs should be a bit more of a yellow, but they went for this beige color on the figure. I think personally it's a really weak figure. Compared to the other Splinter, I do think that the cartoon one is better because even though it's not a design that I really like, it is at least accurate to the source material. The foot soldier is featured in the set twice. One of them has a bike like I showed at the beginning. I said in the movie van review that I really like the parts used on these guys for some customs. They look like Call of Duty characters to me. The movie design is really weird, but LEGO did make a really good translation. However, for these guys I will criticize LEGO for using the exact same figure twice in one set. The Big Rig Snow Getaway set, a set that I do not have but it's very high on the wish list, features two foot soldiers who are the exact same design, but they are different to these guys in this set. They have their faces exposed, and I don't know why LEGO didn't just swap one of them over and have one masked and one unmasked featured in both sets. Is it to have exclusivity so it makes me want to buy the Big Rig set more? Because it's working. That is my review of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie Lair set released in 2014. It's one of my favorite Ninja Turtle sets in all honesty. I love the movie's likeness and I like the sequences that were accurately featured in the set. I love most of the minifigures despite some glaring flaws with at least one of them, but the design is bigger and it's better than that cartoon one. The price was drastically different though compared to the cartoon one, almost $100 more, so naturally this should be a much bigger, bolder set, but the exclusive figures are a lot more appealing here as well. If you enjoyed this retrospective LEGO Ninja Turtles review, liking and subscribing does help to support this channel. As always, take care.